So today we're going to be talking about overdraft protection. Is it something you should opt into? Is it a good financial move? What are my thoughts on it? Guys, it's a scam. Let's just get real about it, okay? Overdraft protection is sold to you as this cozy wozy, we're going to protect you even if you're naughty with your money scenario. But here's the thing. Last year, over $9 billion was charged in overdraft protection fee. The bulk of that was among 3 banks. That's right. And guess what? They're the largest banks in the United States. Shocker, right? Of course. And here's the thing. Most people don't even know that they're being charged an overdraft fee. That's the alarming part about this, or they don't know how much the fee is or how it works. So number one is going to be look at the bank you bank with, go online, and I want you to look at their overdraft protection fees and how it works, okay? It's important that you know that. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, Jen, I have $1 zillion in my bank account, tell your friends to do this, okay? Tell your friends. And look, if you have $1 zillion in your bank account and you're at one of those banks that is hitting people with $30, $40, $50 overdraft charges, I would urge you to move your money to a bank that doesn't do that. And the reason I say that is because I feel like it's encouraging financial illiteracy, right? It's basically a crutch. It's saying, hey, you don't need to be responsible with your money. We'll protect you, right? And at the same point, this protection in many cases is worse than if a loan shark met you in an alley. Like way worse. That's the thing. I was reading one where if you were overdrawn by $50, overdraft protection kicks in. They'll pay that $50. You owe them $34. So when you go to square up with your bank, instead of just being $50 overdrawn, you're now $50 plus the $34. That's a lot, guys. That's a big fee. And I was going through the list and look, there's some big banks that don't have fees for this. And so I think personally, I was really happy because one of the banks that I bank with does not have this fee. And I was like, thank goodness, because I feel like these fees put people who are in a tough spot in a tougher spot, right? And I feel like if maybe there was a more stringent approach, if you're overspending, guess what? You don't have enough money in your account. It doesn't go through, right? That's what it should be. It shouldn't be, it goes through, but then I'm going to break your legs for more money. That's what's wrong, okay? So definitely look at your terms, and I'm going to tell you right now because I know I'm going to get a comment of, Jen, everybody knows. People don't, they really don't know this, and they don't know this. I can tell you just at a ground level as a lender, I've looked at bank statements and I've called people and been like, hey, what's up with your $300 in overdraft protection fees? And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, you've got mad fees on here. What is going on? And they're like, I didn't know I got charged for that. I just thought they covered it. No, not all banks do. Most of them don't, right? And then the other thing is consumers don't understand this to the level that the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau is involved. They came out in January with a new rule where they're saying to banks, hey, you have to clearly disclose this, just like you would with a credit card, which I don't think they're disclosing clear enough, but side note, you have to disclose this clearly, and hey, we got to bring those fees down. So instead of $34, $50, maybe $15 and under, right? It's still too much. So here's the thing. Do I think that banks should just let you borrow money you don't have? No, I absolutely don't. Do I think that banks should be in the back alley like a loan shark, ready for you to overdraft to give you that little extra money so they can just cripple you? Absolutely not. I think it's bad across the board. And I think that the only way you can actually protect your money is you need to be financially responsible. Now, one of the ways you can do that is by always having a cushion. And if you're like, I have no cash right now, Jen, slowly build the cushion, guys. Slowly build it. So, maybe it's $200. It just lives in your checking account. And when you're doing your numbers, it doesn't exist. And if you just said, I don't do numbers, please do your numbers. You need to pay attention to your money. I'm telling everyone, you need to pay attention to your money. I don't care how rich or how poor you are, you need to pay attention, because what's happening is regardless of your wealth level, there's people taking your money every single day and you don't even know because you're not looking. So please, please, please look. The other thing that I found very interesting when I was researching this topic was the fact that people are charging, banks are charging. So let's say you have a checking and a savings, and they're both at this bank, Bank XYZ, and you have your savings and checking linked up. So if your checking's short, they take the money from your savings. There's some banks charging fees for that. I'm not kidding. I was shocked by that one too. I was like, what? But no, they were saying that like there's some banks that are charging $10 to move your money, you know, whether it's a savings or sometimes people have a credit card set up as a protection. They're charging right there too. So you really need to be on top of what your bank is doing. Now, the last tip before I go, and these are always quick, but the last tip's this. You also need to make sure if you have a checking and a savings that they are linked. And there's a lot of banks where you link the two accounts, and then if your checking's short, they move the money from the savings, there's no fees. That's what you want, right? Because look, I'm never going to tell you to keep $1 zillion in your checking account, right? We all know that's going to be in a money market, it's going to be somewhere else, right? It's going to be in a CD, I don't know where it is, but you're not going to be sitting on a ton of money in your checking. So checking, cushion, no overdraft protection. If you have savings, you're going to link them, but you're going to make sure there's no fee if this goes from here. And in general, if you're like, I don't have savings, you got to build that cushion. Don't count on overdraft protection because they're probably bleeding you dry. So drop it in the comments. Have you guys ever gotten hit with these fees? Do you read your bank statements? Do you not read your bank statements? Tell a friend, because I see a lot of these fees and $9 billion of Americans' money towards them. Ugh, not good. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend.